there's a word that's been coming up a lot lately, and that is Panopticon, which is when control continues even after the person is gone because the fear, rules, or expectations have been internalized. In romance cons and coercive relationships, the Panopticon shows up when someone changes their behavior even though the manipulator isn't there anymore. They self-censor. They hesitate. They replay conversations. They police their own thoughts. The person doesn't need to be watching anymore. The memory of them does the job. A panopticon is when control keeps working, even when the person is gone. The environment, the memories, the rules they trained into you keep running. And that's why people can't emotionally unhook. When you stay in the same environment, after a romance con, the space becomes a panopticon. You're not being watched anymore, but your nervous system still acts like you are. That's why changing your environment matters. It breaks the illusion of control so you can get out from under it, over it, and move on. Dating today exists within a constant observation loop. Social media, group chats, dating app screenshots, and viral storytelling have created what sociologists would describe as a panoptic environment. People modify their behavior not because they're being watched, but because they might be. In dating, this is amplified because vulnerability, rejection, and trust are at stake. This is personal. Dating involves identity formation and emotional risk. Unlike friendships or public interactions, romantic encounters ask people to reveal desire, boundaries, and insecurities. When those moments feel potentially recordable or shareable, it produces heightened self-monitoring, anxiety, and performance behavior rather than authentic connection. Dating has shifted from a private relational process to a semi-public social performance. Stories are narrated in real time, vetted by group chats, and sometimes broadcast for validation or warning. This changes how people select partners, express interest, and even exit relationships.
He seems perfect, but something feels off, and I can't put my finger on it. Okay, have you verified anything he's told you? Well, no, but can't I just believe him? Wanting to believe is idealistic, and it opens you up potentially for getting RomConned. Before you invest your heart, verify that what he says is correct. A quick background check on TruthFinder can tell you if he is who he says he is. So I don't have to guess? Exactly. Trust is earned. TruthFinder helps you verify before you get hurt.
There's a complex trade-off here. Increased visibility can deter abusive behavior and expose patterns of exploitation, and that's a positive. It can actually help to bring awareness to rom-cons, thereby minimizing, hopefully, people being rom-conned. However, constant surveillance can also discourage healthy risk-taking and blur the line between accountability and public shaming. From a victimization standpoint, systems that rely on exposure rather than protection can unintentionally re-traumatize individuals. Ultimately, we're seeing dating become a space where trust is negotiated under observation or assumed, and if not actual observation, assumed observation, the fear of observation. It's a dynamic that has profound psychological and social implications. In classic theory, panopticon is a structure where people behave differently because they might be watched. In dating today, that watchtower is social media, dating apps, read receipts, location sharing, Venmo histories, Instagram stories, and mutual networks. You don't just date a person anymore. You date their digital footprint, and they date yours. So what does this create? Self-monitoring instead of self-expression. People curate themselves to be watchable likable, and impressive rather than honest or grounded. Performative intimacy, grand gestures, fast emotional disclosure, and connection that looks deep but hasn't earned trust yet. Hypervigilance and comparison. Who liked their photo? Who they follow? Who viewed a story? Attention becomes currency, not commitment. Delayed or distorted clarity. Because everyone is watching, people hedge, breadcrumb, and avoid clean communication to keep options open. In dating, in the Panopticon, chemistry can be manufactured, access can be faked, and intimacy can be simulated, while accountability stays vague. That's why clarity, boundaries, and intentional communication matter more than ever. Not to opt out of modern dating, but to stop performing for an audience and start choosing for yourself.